Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray edition of The Italian Job. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, The Italian Job is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Kino Lorber. It comes in a slipcover edition available at your online retailers. Now, when it comes to the film itself, this is one of those rare cases where I often hear that the remake that was made in the early 2000s starring Mark Wahlberg and Charlize Theron was actually the better film. I don't necessarily agree. For me, it's not because I dislike the remake. I don't. I think it's action-filled, it is kind of enjoyable, and it has a really good cast, but I feel they're both fundamentally different films with only sharing a few traits. The comedy element is what I feel really sets this one apart and makes it stand out. Michael Caine plays his character very well. It's kind of a straight man with some comedic elements at play, and considering this is just a few short years before his role in Get Carter, it's definitely a contrast. You can easily see the influences this movie had on future heist films, especially when it comes to ensemble casts. Most notably films like Ocean's 11 and those kind of heist movies, especially when you have a little bit of a comedic element thrown in. So yes, it definitely has its place in cinema. The action is pretty solid, with the climax featuring a car chase scene that is a lot of fun, even by today's standards. The dynamics among the various characters, even the second and third tier ones, is really good, even if those particular characters don't get fleshed out well. And the overall film has a timeless feel, late 60s styles notwithstanding. Alright, we're going to talk about the picture quality and the audio in just a moment, but first, let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have the 4K slipcover edition of The Italian Job from Kino Lorber. I really like the artwork. If you've seen the movie, it definitely fits. So, yeah, really cool. Then we have the back. The spine. An interior has reversible, which I'll show in a moment. And then just your basic Kino Lorber disc art. And we have the reversible artwork, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think Michael Caine himself really didn't like the poster. So it's it has an interesting story. You have to look it up, but yeah. So, and then yeah, it's just I prefer the Kino artwork for this edition. So, all right, now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. The Italian Job on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 235:1 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution and graded with both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. For purposes of this review, I will be discussing the Dolby Vision encode. Transfer-wise, this is a well-done offering from Kino. This reportedly was given a restoration from the original camera negative for this release. Film grain looks well preserved with a light layer, and source imperfections are minimal throughout. I will say though, there does appear to be some slight DNR in a few random spots, but it's not a blanket application as some Paramount source transfers are in regards to their catalog titles. Encoding looks to be pretty strong, which could help mitigate some potential issues there. Details show appreciable gains, but it's mostly reserved for close-ups. That's not to say mid-level and far-away shots don't look good. The various picturesque landscapes yield great definition, as do the costuming and, more importantly, the cars. It's really only the aforementioned instances of DNR that make things a bit too smooth, but it's not prominent enough to really raise the red flag over. As for the Dolby Vision, the color palette is right at home. The bold red lettering in the opening title sequence is just an appetizer before the main course that is the late 60s aesthetic. Many of the film's landscapes are truly eye-catching. Snowy mountain peaks set against the true blue sky are beautiful to behold. The era-specific clothing pops visually, and the cars featured throughout the film showcase their paint jobs nicely. Skin tones look warm and natural, and whites appear stable. As for black levels, they look pretty fantastic. Nights are deep and inky, with shadows holding their own as well. There are quite a few opportunities for Crush to rear its ugly head, but thankfully it was nowhere to be found. The Italian Job on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports both a DTS 2.0 mono as well as a 5.1 audio mix. For this viewing, I opted to watch the film in its entirety with a 5.1 track, and I'm glad I did. Unlike Kino's recent 4K release of Death Wish, which had a sham of a 5.1 mix, I found this one to be very enjoyable. Despite this being a late 60s heist movie, it was very energetic in the sound design. Of course, it wouldn't be able to compete with more modern fare, the remake for example, but it still produces a solid offering. Channel separation for the audio cues is mostly on point. Everything up front passes the smell test, with some occasional ambient effects populating the rears. The low end is surprisingly hefty for a film of its age. During the planning stage, the inadvertent car explosion produces a good rumble, and the heist itself with many chase sequences have similar results. Afterwards, I watched several scenes with the 2.0 mono and it was a pleasing experience. If I had a preference, I'd personally go with the 5.1 for my future viewings. I feel the track opens up a little bit more and it stays true to the intended sound of the film. Both tracks were clean with no source related issues. For the picture quality, I'm going to give the Italian Job on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A-. The latest 4K release from Kino is a good-looking, well-done transfer. Aside from a few minor instances of smoothing, the Dolby Vision grading brings out colors very well, and grain structure retains its cinematic appearance. This is a solid 4K from Kino. For the audio mix, I'm going to score this one an A- as well. The film's audio design is actually very well done. From the planning of the heist to the chaos of the heist itself, it provides a very favorable listening experience. Definitely check this one out for yourself. So that is my review of the Italian Job on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. If you're interested in picking up a copy for yourself, I will leave an Amazon link in the comments section. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But if you have the disc already, let me know your thoughts down below. And in the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.